I'm Mike. This is Jenny.
Pratt Family Homestead.
Pratt Family Homestead.
Don't say their names, they gotta do it.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm TJ. I'm 12 years old, and some of my interests are 4-H, and I really enjoy science.
Hi, my name is Faith, and I'm 10 years old, and some of my interests are dancing, sewing, reading, and drawing.
Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm 7 years old. Some of my favorite things are math. I like helping Daddy on the tractor. I like feeding goats, and I like going and seeing pigs.
Hi, my name is Grace, and I'm 5 years old. And I like to play Barbies and Polly Pockets with Faith.
Alright, so if you're not familiar with us, we are on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We are the Pratt Family Homestead. This is supposed to be the kids talking, and we'll try to get that taken up a whole hour here. We'll give a little introduction about ourselves and who we are, what we do. About 4 years ago, we were living in a really nice neighborhood. I mean, not super fancy or nothing, but it was a nice neighborhood, nice neighbors. A block from the school that we loved the kids were in, and we packed up and moved out to the country. Loved everything about it, packed up and moved, and we were originally just looking for a bigger house. I forgot about that, I was thinking about this last night.
Yeah.
We were originally just looking for a bigger house. We were outgrowing our house pretty fast.
Pretty quick.
And so we decided we wanted some land too. We wanted to live out in the country and everything. And then I started getting ideas.
Well, the one place that we went to had a big barn. And then we were like, oh, we've got to have a barn.
We got to have a barn.
We had 3 chickens, but we had to have a barn.
Got to have a barn. And then I was looking at goats and
yeah, and then the next place that we went to,
we had
they had 2 big barns, and we're like, oh, we like that. Smaller house, big barns. We're like, who cares about the house? We need the barn.
We need barn and land.
Then we need land. Now we end up, our house is less by 1 bedroom. We gained a bathroom, which is needed, but we lost a bedroom. But we got 10 acres, and we got 2 barns.
And we gained, like, what, 100 square foot in the house?
Yes.
So needing a bigger house turned into not really what we needed or wanted, but we didn't know at the time what we needed or wanted. So now we've got...
It's still just 3 little chickens.
Yeah, you know.
Well, that's what we had when we were...
Oh, that's what we had when we were
still
doing,
just
right.
the 3 chickens.
Yes, that we weren't allowed to have. I think I just unplugged myself.
No, I think it's just messed up.
No, I pulled on this cable. There we go. Yeah, but now we have a lot more.
Yes, now we do.
So now I forget where we were going to go with all that.
Well, we've got, so we've been there for 4 years. We had no homesteading background.
Right, Jenny grew up.
Yeah, my parents, my dad did a little bit of hunting, very little bit of fishing. We always had a small garden. Never did any canning. To this day, my mom, she calls me for canning information now. And so
Which is not also the smartest thing to do.
And kind of the same for you.
Right.
Your dad
my parents are in the audience here. They live here in Virginia, and I grew up in Alaska. I was born and raised, grew up, graduated high school in Alaska. Lots of outdoor stuff, but no, we weren't out in the bush. We lived in a nice little town. I was a block and a half from the high school, and my dad had a garden. Like I said, there was always moose meat and caribou meat, salmon, and all that, but we never really did this stuff.
None of the bigger scale
Yeah, none of the bigger scale stuff. And so 4 years ago, we moved out and just decided, well, let's get some goats and pigs and chickens and ducks.
Pigs was never on the radar.
We lived at our place for 1 month, and our best friend came over and said, "You guys need pigs?" I said, "Well, yeah, it's November. Of course we do." So in December, we had pigs.
Yes, that was right before Christmas. I was like, we never even talked about pigs before.
We never did, and I have fallen in love with pigs.
We can't go without pigs.
No.
That is a staple now for us.
Where are we at?
We are at, what is, talking about the animals, what is some of the stuff that you guys do to help on the homestead?
Well, during the summer, we planted a lot of sunflowers, and every single one grew, and we didn't have room for them. So every day, us kids would go and pick some sunflowers and go feed them to the pigs.
They would thin them out for it. They had like 5, 6 rows of sunflowers, and they'd each go down one row and grab 5 seedlings.
Go through them over.
Well, and by then the seedlings were,
The pigs would actually leave their feed or whatever they were doing to come eat those sunflowers. It was like one of their favorite things.
Another one of our jobs was during the summer, every day we fill goat waters. We check goat waters if they need to be filled, we'd fill them. We'd collect eggs, and then once a week we would have to do barn chores in the morning and night.
Another chore that we had to do is, once a week we had to do the barn for Mommy and Daddy.
Yep, we did barn chores.
Also, we had to pick potato beetles off the potato plants.
Yeah, so that was something that we had never encountered, never knew anything of. We had potatoes.
We literally knew nothing when we moved out.
Yeah, we did not know anything. We planted potatoes, and then we went out one day, and half of our plants were missing. Like, they were just chewed down to the stems, and we're like, what is going on? Well, we figured out we had Colorado potato beetles growing, or they were eating, and they can destroy your crop fast. So it was their job, squishy little bugs, I don't want to touch them. It was their job to go pick them, and they just put them in a jar of soapy water. Spend no more than 10 minutes a day, and within 4 days, they had picked all the beetles off, and the plants had actually regrown. They had saved our potato crop that first year.
They came back beautiful.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we had an amazing harvest. And so that's kind of been their job for the last 4 seasons now, is to go pick the beetles. And it doesn't take but a couple days because we know to watch for the signs of them now. So they just go pick a little bug, throw it in the soapy water, and continue on and go play. And so far, saved all of our potatoes.
Yeah, another thing with our kids is, for us, we don't force them to do chores on a daily basis. I hear stories of kids growing up. Did I lose it again? I hear stories of
I think it's hiding under your beard too much.
Yeah, he said that the beard would probably interfere.
Yeah.
But we hear stories of kids growing up being forced to do chores, rats running all over the barn, and we don't force them to do chores every single day. Now, we do expect them to go do them when we tell them to, and there's plenty of nights, hey, Mom and Dad are busy, need you guys to take care of the barn chores and all that, but it is not their job on a daily basis to take care of our farm.
It's not, but it is nice that they have the knowledge that if we need them to go feed the goats and the chickens, that they can go do it, and we know that everything is taken care of. The animals are properly taken care of.
And many times they're, hey, can we go with you guys to do chores tonight? Can we go with you? And for us, Faith went through a spell where she wanted to do the chores every single morning.
And she wanted to learn how to milk the goat. That's how she spent spring break 2 years ago. She wanted to wake up every morning and go milk the goat and do all the barn chores.
Look, she's even smiling.
Yeah, and that's how, I mean, what kid wants to spend their spring break doing that? But that's what she wanted to do, so we let her do it.
But like we were alluding to, they do have chores, like weeding parts of the garden. That's their job, onions, potatoes, the beetle bugs. Beetle bugs?
Beetle bugs?
Beetlejuice. You probably don't get that.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And there's a slight age difference here if you didn't figure it out. But so they are expected to do some stuff, but we are not forcing it on them. That's kind of how I like to look at it. And they're loving it.
They are, or they appear to be.
They have more inside house chores than they have anything else.
That they don't enjoy.
So where were we going to go with it? How about a couple kudos for a couple of these? 2 of these kids would never have come up here 2 years ago.
These 2, never. They'd be like hiding or crying with Grandma and Grandpa.
And now,
yes. So let's talk about like what you guys think of the animals. Like what do you think of the pigs, Andrew?
I go out there and I talk to the piggies.
How do you talk?
Snort really good.
Can you do it for us?
And what do the pigs do?
They talk back to me.
They will talk back to Andrew. He can have a conversation with the pigs. It is really funny. Do you like going and seeing the pigs? Gracie?
Yeah, but I mostly like going and seeing the horse.
You like going and seeing the horse?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think, Faith?
Of what? The pigs?
Yeah, of the pigs.
I like the pigs. I think they taste delicious. And I really like that the Tamworths, when you go out there, whether you have food or not, they will come to you and you can pet them. That's what I really like about them.
The Tamworths are very sociable.
Very sociable pigs.
What I like about the pigs is I like how when they lay in the mud, how they blow bubbles.
They do. They love the mud.
Andrew, what do you think about the ducks?
I like the ducks because I couldn't eat chicken eggs, so I was eating the duck eggs, but now I can eat chicken eggs.
Yeah, so Andrew, we didn't know it when we first moved to the homestead. He was actually allergic to milk and chicken eggs. Head
to toe eczema, bleeding in every spot that you could think of.
It was bad.
He had 3 different creams for 3 different regions of his body.
And at age 4, by then he's already been exposed to normal food, and we had to take away 90% of what he was used to eating because almost everything that you find contains at least egg or milk. That was rough to adjust to, but we may or may not have had.
No, we don't need ducks. Let's get ducks.
Guess what I bought?
I come home one day. Guess what's on the porch?
Yes, but right after that, we found out that Andrew couldn't have chicken eggs, but he could have duck eggs, and so it ended up being kind of like a blessing in disguise.
She was right.
I was right, and so yeah, he spent 2 years eating duck eggs, but it was nice because that made cooking and baking and everything so much easier to have eggs instead of trying to find a replacement for something. But now he's good, he's past all his allergies, but with the milk allergy, he couldn't have the goat's milk because the protein is too similar, and that's what he was allergic to. So
not everybody's the same,
he
but
did
that
have to
was how
have
it was for him.
Supplement, but now he's good to go and can have everything again.
He's passed all of his allergies.
Those ducks ended up being a really, really good idea for him. So TJ, what do you like about the ducks? Or dislike?
I don't care for the ducks a lot because they're really loud and they make a mess everywhere. But we do have one duck that every night that I do barn chores, I go over and I hold scratch in my hand, and this duck will come and eat it from my hand.
She will eat right out of your hand. She can get a little aggressive sometimes, but she's a really cool duck. So Gracie, you mentioned that you like to go see the horse. What do you like most about going to see the horse? What's our horse's name?
CJ.
CJ, that's right. What do you like about the horse?
Because he's fluffy.
Because he's fluffy.
His what?
He's fluffy.
Oh, he's fluffy. All right.
Fluffy.
Especially getting his winter coat now.
Yes. Faith, what do you like about the horse?
I like that he used to work with kids, so he really warmed up to us kids and mom and dad really quickly. And I like that when we go do barn chores and we go down and see him, when you let him in, you can pet him while he's eating his food, and he won't move. He'll just let you sit there and pet him.
Jenny, I got a question. Did you remember the card?
Yes.
You did?
They're in my purse.
Oh, there you go. So I wanted to maybe circle back real quick when Faith said the pigs taste good.
Okay.
And we were going to talk about our
The
first,
chickens.
Yes.
Yes.
So we got those pigs in, what was that, December. And they were going to be butchered in June, I think, or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we had our flock of chickens that we also got in January,
Yes, which
we knew nothing. Sure, we'll get chickens in January and raise them in the house.
18 baby chicks in the house
Nah,
for winter.
I don't recommend that for anybody.
That was a really bad idea.
Yeah, we did that. But the rooster started attacking Andrew. One of the roosters growing up started attacking Andrew.
Went right after his face.
If you Google that, roosters attacking kids on Google, you'll find pictures of eyeballs being scratched out and stuff.
The eyeballs are shiny, and that's what they go after. And kids being so short, it's an easy target. And he was 3, 4?
Yeah.
So, I think it was 4.
So needless to say, without even any consideration, that was our first harvested meat that we had. And so we told the kids, you guys can watch, you can participate, you can go disappear, whatever you're comfortable with. But from what I've Googled and what I've YouTubed, here's what I think is going to happen. And I was pretty detailed about it. And they all said, yeah, we'll watch, no problem, we'll be right there. The boys were there for about 2 seconds. Faith stayed the whole time.
The whole time.
The whole time through?
The whole time.
Cried the whole time, stayed and helped the whole time. And Grace, Grace was so young.
She was 1 when we moved.
Yeah.
So, talk about homesteading with kids, what it's like is, you know, we now have 4 years experience, 4 years of kids growing up, but we started with a 1-year-old. That's a challenge.
Starting there, not having worked into it, just starting there.
Okay, why doesn't everybody come help weed? What happened to all of our pea plants? 1-year-old help weed. So, you know, there's some things that maybe you don't have, some of the little ones do, unless you want to keep reseeding your garden. So it made things a little bit of a challenge at first. We didn't can as much as we wanted to the first couple of years, just because canning can be time consuming. But now that they're older, going with the butchering and even just chores, it makes a big difference. They can do the chores on their own, help harvest. I had melanoma removed from my arm 2 years ago. And I couldn't.
1 year ago.
And 1 year ago. But the one 2 years ago, you know, it was harvest season. We had a bunch of green beans that we needed to can. The motion of cutting, because it's right here in my arm. It's too cold to show you right now, but it's right here in my arm. The motion of cutting, I couldn't do it. Hand TJ a knife and say, I need you to help me can green beans. So he learned how to can. And it's, you know, just as they get older, being able to rely on them to help and them being able to do more is really, really big. And they want to be involved and learn how to do these things. So like this year with the chicken butchering.
Well, I was going to say, even back to that first chicken, when we ate it, there was a lot of tears at the table, I think. And then like a month after that chicken, or within weeks of that first chicken, the pigs went to slaughter.
Yeah.
And that was
a lot of tears from
That was a lot of, we didn't know any better. Those pigs were pet dogs. You would jump in the pen with them and scratch their bellies. They'd roll over. Oh, that's awesome.
Playing with the hose.
Jenny would get the hose and spray them. And then I honestly tell people, I believe she was clinically depressed. I seriously believe that. When we took those pigs in to be butchered, she was a wreck in bed for a week.
It was bad.
And then we got the bacon and she was okay. But she was seriously a wreck for that first week. And she's since then, I can't keep my distance from the pigs. I absolutely love them. But she feeds them and waters them, and she takes care of them, but she keeps her distance now.
Yeah, they can't become friends anymore.
But now the kids say stuff, and it's almost a little too nonchalant about, oh, I like the pigs because they taste good. But mentalities are changing. They know where their food is coming from. They know that we raise it, and they know the whole life cycle. And I don't look at it so much as nonchalant. I look at it as maturing and figuring out that, I mean, even if you're buying it in the grocery store, this is what happens, you know? So,
right, and then
they've really developed well with it all.
This was our 3rd year doing meat chickens?
Yep.
Yes, this is our 3rd year doing meat chickens. And so, you know, a lot has changed from that, too. In the beginning, they didn't really do anything with the meat chickens. Last year, they were homeschooled, so they were homeborn. So that was one of their chores, too. Afternoon meat chicken, feeding and watering. Because those things eat a lot of food and go through a lot of water.
Go through a lot of water.
And so that's something they had to do. And then TJ showed meat chickens at the fair last year. This year it was TJ and Faith showing meat chickens. So that became a little bit more of their responsibility as well. But then when it comes time to process them, they were all there. They were all there being part of it. Going from not wanting to watch a chicken be processed or crying through the whole thing to holding the bucket while it's dispatched, helping cut the legs off, pull the feathers off. You know, they're part of the whole process of it. And
extra hands sure do help at that time.
It makes a huge difference when you're doing 120 chickens.
I don't know if he's in here, but our Hodgepodge Homestead, John, came and helped us with the chickens one day.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, thank you. We went through so many chickens so fast.
That was so fast. So that makes a huge difference as far as like what it's like having kids on the homestead. Younger ones, you know, they require a little bit more time and attention, so you might not always be able to do what it is that you want to do. But the older that they get them involved, let them be a part of it and teach them these things. I mean, they know how to bake bread and cooking and everything now. And it's not forced upon them. They see us doing it. It's something that they want to learn too.
Let's say on that note, let's get them talking about it a little bit. But we're doing things now that if we were still living in the city, even though I like to experiment and play with stuff a lot, probably wouldn't be doing. Like before we moved out, I had no idea Well, maybe I did, but I don't think I even had any idea that sauerkraut was fermented cabbage. I don't think I even knew that.
I don't like it, so I didn't.
But now we are cranking out sauerkraut like you won't believe. Most of the kids really like it.
You just got a huge crock.
I just found a 5-gallon crock that I can't wait to fill up. Jenny pointed out 2 huge heads of cabbage I have out there. But they're learning how to ferment stuff, and sourdough bread. I mean, sourdough bread, fermented flour. I never knew that. But yeah, do you want to talk about some of that?
So what did you do?
I mean, I know we didn't prep you with this at all, but as you can tell, we didn't really prep anything.
You did that whole batch, right?
Yeah, I helped Dad make. So we did 2 half gallon.
I think so.
2 half-gallons.
2 half-gallon of sauerkraut, so a gallon. But we put them in 2 half-gallon jars, and I helped Dad make. I stayed up one night and I helped Dad make the sauerkraut. We salted the cabbage, and we made the brine, and I helped him pack it in there. And then a couple, like a week or something, I don't know.
3 or 4.
What?
3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks.
5 or 6.
We took it out, and it was really sour.
Oh, I thought you said we chickened out. I was like, what are you talking about? No, we checked it out. Okay, all right. So I don't chicken out from trying much.
We didn't chicken out. It was pretty sour. I don't think we ended up eating it because it was too sour.
Oh, I did. You might not have.
He did, but we also fermented veggies.
Yeah, and Andrew, what did you get good at cutting up?
Yeah, grab the microphone.
For fermented veggies.
I cut up broccoli.
And when else did you do a good job of doing that? The mom?
Oh, yeah. Mommy had a surgery, so I cut some broccoli for her.
That was his job every day.
That was
Jenny
his
got up
job.
the steamed broccoli kick, so every day Andrew would cut up broccoli for her.
He would ask me, he's like, do you need more broccoli? I was like, yeah, just maybe a little bit, because he just wanted to cut that broccoli.
But all the kids really are interested in the kitchen stuff, making bread. I've been playing with sourdough bread thanks to Patty Alderman, and they all love getting in there and
They
helping.
do. Yes.
Do we have a question? Yeah.
I was wondering, do you do this just for your family, or has it become a business?
Well, we're flirting with the business end. I mean, quit my job and just stay on our little 10 acres? Who wouldn't want to do that? Right? Like now? Right?
Right.
But we are raising extra pigs and selling them. We're
Meat chickens.
meat chickens. We're selling what? Probably 40% of the meat chickens that we raise. We're selling. So we'll just say 40 out of 100. I mean, that's what we did last year for sure.
Yeah.
They're not all sold yet this year, but we're gonna ramp up our egg production. Do that. We got some bees. Finally, look like we got some bees that are gonna survive the winter. So it'd be great to dabble in honey. We dabble in syrup.
Smoked salt.
We don't harvest near enough syrup to sell though, but
No.
if I could buy the right piece of property, right?
Right.
Right. And I've talked about buying the right piece of property for some extra hay to sell, right?
Right.
Right. So we're dabbling with that, but
You can
it's
see we're
finding,
clearly on the same page with some things.
but the amount of property we have, so 10 acres, yeah, I could go kind of commercial-ish like and raise a whole ton of hogs and sell a whole bunch of pork. I know the market's out there to sell it, but I don't really want to raise them like that either. So 10, I bet you we could do 20 no problem, right?
Right?
But we've been sticking with 10.
Yeah, last year we did 10, and I was like, never again will we do 10. That's too much for me. I mean, I was at the feed mill buying feed like every 2 days. I'm like, are you kidding me? My minivans carried more feed than it's actually carried us the kids.
So the real simple answer is right now, we moved out here 4 years ago looking to be more self-sustaining. That's what we moved out for, but if I could do that and my job be at home, I'd be in heaven.
Yeah, you would.
Jenny, maybe not so much.
I don't know. I think we had another question. I saw you raise your hand a little bit earlier.
How many chickens does your family, tell about your refrigerator and your freezer situation?
I love red meat. She cooks chicken.
Yes. Okay, so we have, our kitchen refrigerator that's got the side freezer. We primarily use that just for like a little bit of stuff and ice packs, stuff like that for lunches and everything. What you would have in your standard kitchen. And then we also have 3 freezers that are currently maxed out, but we've got to figure out how
We
to
gotta get 2.5
rearrange
pigs
because
in
we
there
have
still.
2.5
Big
pigs in 2 weeks coming. So one freezer right now is completely full of the meat chickens that we just processed. Some of those still have to be sold off, but we did about 120 meat chickens total this year, and that we're keeping about 70. That
We
might
kept 60 last year.
yeah, and it didn't quite get us. So we're gonna go with 70 and just, you know, we're still trying to figure out what we need. We also have growing children, so I'm sure every year for the next few years it's going to increase.
They put out.
We keep at least 2 pigs each year, and that gets us just to the 1 year mark if we're stingy. I mean, if we go crazy, then we're out of pork pretty quick.
Venison.
Yep.
Got lucky, got 2
2
deer last year.
And then we
One
also,
with the minivan, but hey, 2 is 2.
it counts, right? And then some of the chicken we take and we can it. Sutton's Day's got us hooked on that, and Tim Beverly's running around and he asked me, he's like, well, what are you going to do with the canned chicken? Because canning meat is not, like, that grosses me out. It was not something I wanted to do. And I was like, well, Tim, it looks great on the shelf. It's just going to sit there. I'll tell you what, that canned chicken is the best thing ever. It makes cooking so convenient. I mean, we got 2 girls in dance. Those nights are rushed. As soon as they get home from school, we got to go. And just take a canned chicken, throw it in there, mix in some veggies. You've got stir fry, you're out the door. It is so nice to have. Mike just canned ground beef right before we left. It looks weird, so we'll see how long it sits on the shelf, but I'm sure we'll use it eventually.
Like usual, I'll probably be the taste tester.
Probably. I'm always like, let's just see how you feel after.
If Mike doesn't go to the hospital, it's safe.
We're good. So, you know, but that's something that we're still dabbling in, and we're not to a point where we know, oh, well, we bought half a cow this year, too.
That was our other
One freezer is half a cow.
We actually have not bought meat at the store
in years.
Very long time.
We have not had to buy meat.
I mean, I guess we have, but we haven't had it.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're still not at a point where we know exactly how much we need for our family to get from year to year, or even
We're still
hopefully
figuring it out
a
all
little over. But that's kind of where we're at. We know we probably will never be able to do less than 120 chickens. We'll never be able to keep less than 2 pigs. And we'll probably get a whole cow next time instead of just half.
Unless we can get a whole bunch of deer.
Right.
Preferably without the minivan. TJ, what's your favorite meat that we harvest?
My favorite meat is probably the pigs.
What, any particular?
I really like the ham.
You really like the? Oh, the
It tastes
hams are
so
good.
Hams are good.
Our butcher does a good job with
What
that.
about you, Faye?
I think it might be the pigs. I really like the pork chops.
Specifically, what about the pork chop?
I don't know.
I've never had them before in my life, I don't think, and we decided to get smoked pork chops. I
Good
said
job.
it correctly.
He
I
never
usually
said
say smoked chops.
But I also like I like the ham as well. I like the pork chops and the ham and the bacon. I basically like all of it. Basically.
Andrew,
Andrew,
what
what's
is
your favorite
meat?
This would include venison, pork, chicken.
Yep, the deer
We haven't harvested the duck yet.
I like eating the meat bugs that we butcher every year.
The meat bird?
You like the chicken? Okay.
Make some good fried chicken with that, huh?
Oh, Jenny's fried chicken.
What's your favorite meat?
I like the deer.
The deer?
Yeah.
That's
That's another thing I think's changed. I'm not a huge hunter. I've always enjoyed going hunting, but it's never a priority of mine. And but the last couple years, it's been more and more of a priority.
Yeah.
And on our property, the deer season doesn't really work on our property. But the farmer last year let me sit in a blind across the field on the wood line that I want to buy some property on. And
the deer do love our hay field, just not during
hunting season. And Faith, for her birthday last year, wanted to sit in that deer blind with me all day for her birthday, and that's what we did. And then the next day I got a buck.
And she wasn't with us.
But now all the kids are bugging to go out hunting, and back when we were living in the city, that was like never really even on the radar. I had nowhere to go hunt.
No.
In Southern Michigan, you got to kind of know somebody to go hunt some land. But
that's kind of like her birthday tradition. She wants to go
I had to break the news to her that her birthday this year was on a Friday. And so she would not be sitting in a hunting blind.
Not all day. She's got to go to school. But maybe
Saturday.
evening.
But
And then Saturday, yeah.
And that's if the farmer lets us.
Yeah. So,
but it sure is nice putting that meat for free in the freezer. Yeah, by the bags and all that stuff.
Well, even if he doesn't, we could try our with our woods again. We could try our woods again this year.
Yeah, we can try our
Did we try our woods last year or no?
We have not even an acre little swamp type thing that is kind of right in between two wood lines, and the deer might pass through there in the middle of the night during hunting season.
Right.
Non-hunting season, they'll be out there during the day-ish eating and stuff, but hunting season, they're in those wood lines, 800 to 1,000 feet off each side.
We do have around the woods is all hay, and so they like to come in there and eat. But there is like one strip in the back. We have a lot of rocks up on that big hill. It makes farming quite interesting up there. But we do have one strip in the back that we put a deer plot, hoping to entice them, and then we're hoping to put like some hedge trees, give them a little bit more privacy feelings. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier.
What else will we have for them? Because like I kind of predicted, we're about a half hour into this hour thing.
Well, one of the things that we're going to talk about for like what we do now that we wanted to done before was the bees.
Okay.
And TJ, that is like their thing. I will help if I have to, but I prefer not to be asked. But TJ is fascinated with the bees and has learned quite a bit with it. You want to talk about some of the things that?
Well, he might not now be able to regurgitate anything, but just talk about the bees or whatever you think.
I really enjoy our bees. The last couple years that we've been doing them, they haven't lived to the winter. But this year we caught a swarm, and they've been doing very good. We broke into it, and when we broke into it the first or the second time, we figured out that they did have a queen in there, and that there was bees, and I've seen a few bees like when they're like you see them coming out like when they're hatching. I see
them come right out of that wax hatch. We've seen lots of baby bees.
That is really neat to see that.
Yeah.
What about our bees this year? Do you remember what's different about them from the last 2 years that we tried packaged bees?
They're different kind of bees.
We were pretty sure they're different kind. Do you remember do you remember what we had and what we think we have now?
We had Italian and we think we have Russian bees this time.
And why do we think that?
Because they hurt a lot more when they sting.
They do, and they messed me up. I've had where did I get that last one?
It was like right here on your arm.
Yeah. And my whole side of my arm was numbed down to my fingers.
All the way up. I mean,
yeah.
and you could touch it. Up here was high. I was like, I don't think that's normal.
I was driving Jenny crazy. I was taking my bee suit off one time and I got stung right at the belt and shirt line. And it all went numb. Like I was walking around the house nonstop.
Back to monkey stage.
She's like, go away. Just go away.
Put something on her or take something or something. Just stop doing that.
What else you got about the bees, bud? Anything? We would like to get it. I don't think we're going to buy any more packaged bees. We were successful with catching that swarm this year. It was a great experiment. It worked. We caught the swarm out of some boxes that I built, and I just can't picture going back and spending $125 on a package. In our case, at least, we've killed 3 packages, or they've left or whatever, and that's a lot of money gone. The swarms, when you catch those, they've already survived the winter once.
Sorry, my bad.
Who needs coffee? They already survived the winter once, and so you got a pretty hardy group of bees there already. So fingers crossed they survived this year. But I can't imagine buying packaged bees anymore.
No. One more thing I liked about the bees is when they fly in, you can see the pollen on their legs.
That is very cool.
I really like
We moved our box this year too. We used to have it out at the wood line, and we tried it in a couple different spots at the wood line, but they kept dying, and we're like, well, maybe it's something over there. So we moved it closer to the house,
like
actually.
Right
but it's right next to the horse's barn, and I have to walk around through there every time I go see the horse. In the middle of the day, it's almost like a little bee highway because they're going in and out, and you can just stand there, and They follow the same line coming in, and then there's the same line going out, and that's exactly what it looks like. It's like a little bee highway.
The back of the
Don't get hit, but it's really cool to watch.
The back of the beehive faces the west, and there was a storm coming in one day, and you could tell it was going to be a doozy. And there was a steady stream of bees. I could see them coming in right here, right here, right here. It was just a line of them. They were coming right from their foraging. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
it was
they're
a
neat
cool
to watch, but I will go help, and I'll use the smoker, and I'll just keep smoking because I'm like, go away. But once they start like getting a little agitated, I'm like, I'm out, bye. I kind of bail. But
what do you want to talk about? Talk about something.
What's your favorite animal on the homestead? Like who's your favorite?
The horse.
The horse. He's your absolute favorite.
What are some things that we do?
Should we get more horses?
You should get more horses.
More horses.
Oh, okay, you're done. What are some things you like to do around our place? Whether it's playing somewhere or doing something or playing with the animals. What's some stuff that you like to do?
Going swimming.
Going swimming.
We did get her parents gave us a pool this year that was theirs. Anything else, Punk? Oh, that's her name, Punk, by the way.
No, it's not.
Well, you got a bunch. You got Gooby, Punk, Peanut.
I call her Peanut Butter.
Darling. Well, you're more Darling.
Princess.
Yeah,
Doug got that one this morning too.
Peanut gallery.
Peanut. Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Darling?
No.
Okay, Andrew.
I got a question for you. So last year we did homeschooling, right?
Yeah.
And you guys decided we let it be their decision. So they were in public school, and then he loved his teacher, he loved his friends,
That was
but
kindergarten.
he struggled going to school.
He didn't struggle in school
No.
all that. It
No,
was
he
just
was
being
great
in
at
school.
school.
Was
It
an
was,
emotional wreck
yeah,
for
the
him.
going part. And it was at least 3 days a week from September to May that he cried. And that got hard. He actually is the one that approached me about, can I stay home and you just teach me? I've never really thought about it. Yeah, I grew up going to public schools, what I knew. So I kind of did a little bit of reading.
And we really like our public school, by the way.
Oh, we
There's
do,
a lot of
yeah.
controversy about public schools out there. We have one of the good ones for sure.
And so I did a little bit of reading, research for, I don't know, like a couple weeks straight to figure out what could I do. And we gave it a trial over the summer for a couple of weeks, and they decided that they really liked it. So we let them decide, okay, do you want to stay home? Do you want to go? If it was half and half, that's perfectly fine. She wasn't old enough to go yet. She could have done preschool, but, you know, what do you want to do? Well, they all four decided they wanted to stay home. So we went from not doing any homeschooling at all to homeschooling 4 different ages. And it took a while to get a rhythm down, but we got it figured out.
You did a test run in the summer.
Yeah, and
a month of July
that
or
was
something.
still not even like a full curriculum type. It was just a little bit here and there. But we finally got a rhythm down, and things seemed to go really good. But we kind of talked along the way. Is this what you keep wanting to do? Do you want to go back? You know, what's your thoughts? And they decided that they wanted to stick it out. So we did the whole year of homeschooling. And then it came time for summer again, and they're like, well, I kind of think I want to go back, which was fine. The decision is theirs.
The kids and Jenny all loved the homeschooling.
Yes.
They all loved it. There was no complaints about it whatsoever from anybody.
It was really hard to let them go back, to be honest. I really wanted them to stay, but the decision was theirs. I didn't want to force them to stay because that was not going to make a good environment for them at all. But Andrew, between homeschooling and being at public school, what are some of the things that are the same and different, and what did you enjoy about homeschooling?
I liked homeschooling because I got to stay home and see Mommy and Daddy.
CJ, what do you think? What are your thoughts on it?
I liked it.
What grade are the kids in?
Yeah, what grade? Why don't you guys say what grade?
I'm in 7th grade this year.
I'm in 5th grade.
2nd kindergarten.
I really really liked it. What I think is that some of my friends, when I went back to school, they said, "Oh, you didn't have to do as much work." And what I told them is, we do the same amount of work. You just do it over 8 hours, and I sit down and I do it all right then and there.
Before lunch.
Before
lunch. You get up and you switch classes and you listen to your teacher talk. I sit down, I read, and I get my work done before I get to play and have fun.
It was actually a little, not discouraging is not the right word. Disappointing, I think, hearing some of our friends, some of the kids' friends' parents, I guess, because TJ was still in sports, Faith was still, in sports. But you'd hear that comment, well, of course they love homeschooling. They can stay in their pajamas all day and do nothing and da-da-da. And it's like, I didn't get snappy, but I was like, I said, my kids are up before 7. Jenny has their chore list. They're doing chores before breakfast.
Yep.
And then they're hitting the books. And they're done at 11, 12 o'clock. But there is no sleeping in this house.
There's no sleeping in.
I'm the only one that gets to sleep in.
And I mean, we had kind of a crazy year. You know, I had major surgery. Mike's mom passed away and stuff. And
it was actually a good year that we decided to homeschool.
If there was going to be a crazy year for all that, that was the year. But they still had their work. I mean, we took their work with us to Iowa. They still had to do their work. They still had to do their lessons, do the whole thing. We had to modify things, but that's one of the great things about homeschooling is you can modify it for your schedule. But they
I'm sure a lot of people out here probably homeschool.
They were still done at the time that they were supposed to be done, and they're back in public school now. But there's like, you wouldn't even know. They didn't struggle with anything.
Andrew's lost his anxiety.
Yeah, this kid has grown so much in this past year of just being able to be at home and let himself mature and build. He went back to public school as if he had never taken a year off. Like, he was in there talking to people, hugging his teacher. Kid's good to go.
This one being in preschool homeschool, I kind of think probably benefited the most because she probably wouldn't have had that level of learning if the other kids weren't home being homeschooled.
Right.
I mean, not that you wouldn't have been teaching her
right.
stuff, but she is off and running.
Yeah, she's doing amazing. So I mean, I think it benefited all of them in more ways than just like being able to be home and stuff like that.
Let's get dangerous. Let's see if they want to flip.
Well, I didn't know if we wanted them to have, especially these two, have a chance to talk about 4-H real quick.
Oh, you guys want to talk about 4-H real quick? So 4-H for me, I knew 4-H existed, had no idea what it was. I mean, I saw animals at the fair and I saw crafts. I was like, oh, that's cool, whatever. I thought it was part of the fair. Farmers brought in animals for kids to see or something. I had no idea what 4-H was until a couple years ago. And well, Jenny's got some 4-H background. She's done arts and crafts and stuff.
Archery.
She didn't even fully understand all. I don't think I still understand all the animal stuff.
No.
There's showmanship and whatever, all this. But the kids have jumped in. Was it head first? Jumped in head first and thousands of crafts, showing meat chickens. But you guys want to talk about it?
I enjoy 4-H. I think it's a really good experience for us kids. To be able to do this stuff, like showing animals, I think it's a good experience for the kids. This year I showed meat chickens, and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know if you want me to list everything, because I did a whole bunch of stuff.
You can go ahead and list off a couple. Believe me, we have
just a couple.
We have time.
Just a couple?
We're about only halfway into this.
I did purple onions. I got honorable mention on that. I did popcorn. I got best in class on that.
Well, describe popcorn in case people don't know. Did you pop some popcorn and take it in for people to eat?
No, we did. I had to build a box to hold 10 cobs of popcorn. And the cobs are only like that big, without all the other stuff. The husk.
Other stuff.
Other stuff, yeah, other stuff. But also, my popcorn really stood out because everyone did big cobs of just yellow corn.
Sweet corn.
Sweet corn. I don't know the big kinds of corn. So my popcorn really stood out. And then I did a pillow made out of fabric with pigs on it. I made a pig pillow, and my cousin, she loves pigs, so I was actually going to give that to her for Christmas this year. What much more stuff I did? Tie-dye and recyclable art.
Last year they did, TJ was the only one that did meat chickens, but each of the kids only did 3 items for the fair. This year, between the 3 of them, we had 33 items that they had to complete for the fair. So there was a lot that got changed just in the 1 year as we learned more that first year. That first year was a little bit of a mess.
I'll let TJ expand more on this, but so like Faith took meat chickens to the fair this year, and with TJ last year, we track the animals that go into the freezer. We do a very good job of tracking the feed, come down to how much per pound are we paying for XYZ. In meat chickens example, last year, between the chickens that we sold, and all the pieces and parts that we sold.
Yeah, my friend takes the heart, the liver, the gizzard, and the feet. She feeds her dogs an all natural raw diet. She buys those.
Our meat chickens that we kept cost us 28 cents a pound per chicken. That included TJ taking 2 of my meat chickens to fair and paying me back $4.67 per chicken. That's what it cost us to raise each chicken, $4.67. TJ, just real quick, I'm going to let Faith continue. Yes, correct. TJ, how much did you get for your meat chickens last year?
Last year I got $275 for my 2 meat chickens.
And I was like, yeah, I'll take my $9, please.
At first he was really apprehensive about having to pay us back.
We had no idea it went for that much.
It's like, what if I only get like $20? You guys are going to be taking about half of it. Well, that's the way that it works.
Jenny and I agreed we'd probably give them a little more.
Yeah. So when the first set of chickens went for $500 for the grand champions, I was in the back in line with him. I was like, our $9 don't sound so bad now, do they?
So Faith, this was your first year taking meat chickens as well. What are your thoughts on taking meat chickens to 4-H?
I enjoy it. I really got my chickens to like me, so they wouldn't like, be mean to me when I was cleaning out their cage, doing the water and food, because I did not want that. But I really enjoyed it. I got, what did I get? 200 for my 2 meat birds. And
do you remember anything the judge told you when he came and looked at your meat chickens? I don't, to tell you the truth.
We didn't help them pick out their chickens. We helped TJ the first year because we had no idea what we were doing, and we got some information from, because there's a special test that has to be done. We got some information about what to look for to try to get 2 birds about the size, because these are market animals. You want them basically like what you would go to the grocery store and get. You want them about the same size. So they
don't want different sizes, yeah.
Right, and so this year we told them the information, but we let them pick out their own birds. And there's definitely some learning that needs to go on with that. They were kind of all over the place, but what was some of the stuff the judge said? Do you remember?
I think he said like one of them's breast was like more heart-shaped than the other, so I need to watch out for that. They were 2 different pounds. One was 6.2 and one was 7.1.
Right, so if you don't know, it's not only supposed to look the same, since looks can be deceiving, but you're supposed to feel all around the bird, feel both of them. They're both supposed to feel exactly the
breast
same.
meat around the legs. Get the same.
And last year we had TJs, I think they were the same exact size, weren't they?
7.2 and 7.3.
Last year or this year?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was last year's, and that's right where you want them, because that's right about market size.
About market weight, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed taking them to fair, and I think that's something I'd want to do in the future.
So TJ, why don't you expand on that and tell people what you did with your $275 from last year and everything that went on this year with it and stuff.
So with the money I got last year, I chose to purchase 10 meat birds.
Oh, hold on, back up just a little. What was the first thing you bought?
Yeah, what was the first thing you bought?
I bought myself a pair of cowboy boots.
Then what did you do with the rest?
Then I took the rest of the money and purchased 10 meat birds of my own, and I helped raise them. I bought the feed. I bought everything to take care of them, and then I took the 2 to the fair. And this year I only got $125
The whole auction for that fair this year was down, but
Yeah, it definitely was.
last year's auction, we become very good friends with our local feed mill. We purchase almost everything through our local feed mill. In fact, we do purchase everything through our local feed mill. And we've become very good friends with them over the last couple of years. And last year, the owner of that feed mill helped raise TJ's bid on his birds with, who was it that?
Kroger.
Oh, Kroger grocery stores, if you're familiar with them. He sat next to the Kroger guy, or the Kroger lady,
Yeah.
and him
They've
and
been back and
her
forth.
conspired and got that price way up for TJ. And then we didn't touch on it, but the feed mill actually bought Faith's birds this year. So that's all pretty cool. But
So you bought 10 birds.
yep.
I bought 10 birds.
Took 2 to the fair.
I took 2 to the fair. And then I sold the other ones. I sold one to my dad. And then my grandpa bought the other 7.
And it was an easy sell. As soon as he got off the phone, I called my dad, hey, I got 125 to sell you. He didn't even make TJ work for it. But so do you think you're going to do it again next year?
I probably will do it again next year.
I think even if you only wanted to raise 2 for fair, you could probably take them out of your money and do that. Yep.
The testing is actually a colorum test that you have to do for your chickens.
What are you doing?
But if like one of Faith's chickens wasn't feeling good, like you have to make sure that the chicken can, before you take the test, you have to make sure that everything is okay, it doesn't have bruising, because you can get you get an ABC ribbon, and you can get points marked down if your chicken, if its leg is broken or its wing is bruised, you can lose points for that. So you have to check that.
Andrew, what's some stuff that you took to the fair? Now, he's Cloverbud, so he gets ribbons no matter what.
I took some Legos, I did a painting, I did a drawing, and I had a glass jar, and we hot glued some seeds on there.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I also entered a pumpkin and a sunflower.
And you also entered some deck eggs, right?
Yeah,
It's really good deck eggs.
And a showmanship.
Yeah,
You
say
did
it again.
Yeah,
I did showmanship.
poultry showmanship.
Can you tell them what you have to do for showmanship? I almost couldn't say it. But that's, if you know me, that's typical.
He will ask you to get the bird out of the cage, and then you'll have to show him some parts on it. I did pretty good, I think.
You did do excellent.
Like you
20 or 26.
You did like the beak and the eyes.
Yeah, why don't you tell them what you think your score was?
I think I did a 20 out of 46.
Yeah, I think you did 26 out of 40.
Yeah, I think it's 26.
We had no idea what entailed showmanship, and unfortunately for Andrew, we just kind of stuck him out there with a chicken. And he found out for us. We got the grading sheet, so we'll be good and prepared next year.
Yes. But he did really good, because talking about how he kind of grew out of his shell, he never would have gone, he wouldn't have even gone up there. He did get really nervous and started crying and asked for Dad and Uncle Andy and Aunt Jamie
My brother was
to
in
not
town.
watch him. So they just went around the corner. But the judge came over and he did what he needed to do.
He
and
pulled
he
it
was
together,
all smiles.
sucked it up, and went through it with the judge, and he
Yep.
was perfectly fine when the judge got there, and he did a good job, didn't you, Boo?
Yeah, so you guys have done really good with 4-H.
How you doing?
Are you awake? Kind of cold over here.
Grace, are you getting excited to maybe do 4-H? She can do it next year?
Next year.
Next year you're going to be a Cloverbud? Do you know some stuff you might want to do next year?
No.
Okay, are you going to build some pretty crafts?
Yeah.
Okay.
You've already done a painting, ready to go,
You've already done a paint? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
That's pretty difficult.
I'm going to try and make I'm going to try and make a picture by my own.
A picture of your own?
Did you say it one time?
No.
Oh.
Make a picture. And then are you going to do, like how Sissy's done wreaths the last couple of years? Are you going to make any wreaths?
Yeah.
Yeah. And baking, you want to do the baking too, right?
Yeah, and I want to make cookies.
Cookies.
Go ahead.
I made cookies and they were called monster cookies. They had M&Ms. They were sugar cookies with M&Ms and chocolate chips.
So another kind of cool thing is we found the open class barn, where that's for adults and kids, right?
Yes.
Adults and kids, not 4-H. And so I walked in there and I asked the lady, can I see some sourdough bread? Because thanks to Patty, I've been all about sourdough. And they had one piece of sourdough bread in there that kind of looked like store-bought sandwich bread. Not store-bought, but it didn't, I mean, and so I asked, and the lady, it had a Red Star Yeast Award on it also, and I asked the lady, I said, oh, so what do I need to do to enter some sourdough, She goes, oh yeah, enter it, you might win the Red Star Yeast Award if you can prove that you used Red Star yeast. And I said, well, I don't use yeast in my sourdough. And she said, what? I said, well, no, I mean, the sourdough captures the yeast. The starter captures I don't use any commercial yeast. And this older couple kind of perked up. They're like, you don't use yeast in your bread. What? I was like, well, no, the sourdough starter. I mean, you can use commercial yeast in to speed things up a little bit, but I've tried not using it. And the lady running the fair section there and this couple, they were totally fascinated.
Yeah, they just thought that was
crazy. 4 years ago, I would have been totally fascinated with them, but there I was explaining sourdough to them.
It was kind of cool.
But, so, yeah.
We've got like 6 minutes left.
We made it an hour? Are you kidding me? And there's still people here?
So,
hold it, right here.
Right back there.
Last year you homeschooled, this year you showed, you learned dance, you got a job.
Oh yeah.
Like 40 hours?
Oh yeah. I have a work truck that when I leave my garage, my time starts.
Okay.
So that makes it really nice, but my job can extend out hours. No, there's no time. That's the great thing.
For anything.
There's no.
Yeah, it's.
I needed to winterize the bees for like 3 weeks now. We have tomatoes. The tomatoes are super late, but they're because of my mom passing stuff. That we didn't get the tomatoes in the ground in time, but we now have tomatoes ready to harvest, and we haven't had time to. The hayfield's always cut way too late.
We always feel like we're trying to play catch up, and we never catch up. But we somehow manage to do what we need to do and get where we need to be. I mean, all 4 of them are in after-school activities. All 4 of them have homework. All 4 of them keep us running. And then we try to homestead on top of it.
It's crazy. You can ask Jenny. I get very frustrated. I think she thrives on the go, go, go. I'm older. There's no go-go in me anymore, you know? But I can get pretty frustrated with. I mean, that's not the kids' fault. It's not Jenny. It's just the go, go, go. Sometimes frustrates me.
Yeah.
Hence the whole, couple thousand in bees, couple thousand in pork, couple thousand in this. Maybe I can stay home one day.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So you talked earlier about the kids do like one night of barn chores.
At least one day. They usually have all 4 of them now.
So the 2 of you typically do all the barn chores.
Yes.
When you say barn chores, that means they go to the care of the animals at night?
Correct.
Yeah. So
or morning, just depending.
And nighttime barn chores are for us, the way our system works is the fastest. I mean, it's basically throw some feed at them and get back inside. I mean, the nighttime barn chores are very simple, but when TJ's not home from a cross-country meet until 7 o'clock, and he's got a ton of homework, and their bedtime is 8 to get up at 5:50 in the morning, it's not realistic with their dance and cross-country, softball, baseball, all this stuff, to then expect them to go out and do chores and everything else too. So, or not for us. We don't think it is. It might work for other people.
Right.
But for us. Kids will entertain any question. Dad, be quiet. Does anybody got any question? Yeah, go ahead.
Are you guys going to show pigs next year?
Are we going to show the pigs next year? Oh, you just opened a can of worms.
I think it'd be pretty cool to show pigs. This year I also wanted to show goats, but Mom said no.
The breed of goat that we raise can only be, what? I forget.
I think it was
can only be meat.
And they have to be disbudded, and we just
didn't
quite
have
get
to
there.
be
It's one of those
born in
things.
February. and have their horns removed.
Yes, and we had one born in February. We actually ended up selling her off.
And back to the pigs.
Yeah.
I love my pigs.
Yeah.
And I meant to do more research this year with the people that were at the fair.
Right.
And research what do I need to do to get the pigs. Is there only certain breeds they allow? Because when you go through and you read all the breeds, most of them are, I'm drawing a blank now, Duroc Cross. There was some Perch and Perk Cross. But it seemed like I was like, oh my gosh, I need to bring my Tamworth in here. You know, and I don't know if it's allowed or not, but it is something I'd like to show my pigs.
They also have dog agility, and Andrew's talked about taking Georgie.
Yeah.
Because he loves to run, she loves to run. It would be great for them to just go.
Yeah, I also wanted to take Georgie. And TJ, he's done stuff in fair.
Oh, they're gonna start telling stories about each other.
He's done stuff in fair that I didn't know that you could do. I was just thinking of the stuff that I knew that how to do. But like this year you did metalcraft, and I didn't even know that you could do that. So this year I want to do, or next year I want to do it. And then I also saw some fairy gardens at fair. I didn't know you could do that.
Fairy garden.
But you can do that. And I want to do that next year.
She has her whole list.
Yeah, my whole list. Yeah.
Does anybody else got questions? Dad, you can ask a question if you want. No. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to say?
Our time is up, so why don't you guys think about it?
You guys made it an hour. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a little bit more fun than I thought it would be.